Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you some technology that you might find useful if you are teaching from home or virtually in your classroom. Some of these tools might additionally be beneficial for you just teaching normally. The first thing we'll talk about is a document camera. Most schools provide the teachers with a document camera, and you could use that to either record lessons or to stream some lessons to your students, or if you're meeting with a small group of students or having office hours, you could use this to help answer questions that they have. You just plug this into your computer and you open this up on your desktop, and then you can stream what your document camera is viewing. If you don't like that option, you could always use a webcam and move that around so that you could position that and have the webcam pick up whatever you are writing. I wouldn't recommend buying this for $145. It is the one that I purchased, but with the pandemic happening, some technology has been overpriced. This is an example of that. Any webcam like this one that is 1080p or even 720p will be fine. I personally never use this one, but there's a lot of ratings. I like buying stuff from Amazon Prime because of the free returns. You can buy this, and if you feel that it's not worth what you paid it for it, then just return it and go on to something else. There have been times where I bought something that I thought would be useful, and I just found out that it's really not as game changing as I thought it would be, and it wasn't worth what I paid. So I just sent it back because I bought it on Amazon Prime and it was no problem. You could use the camera and attach it to something like this and position it down so that students can see what you're working on. This one clamps to your desk, but I know everyone may not have that option. This one has an actual base that you put on your desk, and then the arm and the attachment where you can position the camera either towards you or down to show what you are writing. Over here we have a little bit of a cheaper one, lower profile. Again, I haven't used this one before, so I can't really comment on a personal recommendation for this, but again, free returns, you really have nothing to lose. Now, when you are meeting with students, I always recommend that you have some type of microphone that is not the one that's built into your computer. For a webcam, if you're using a laptop, the built-in one is probably going to be just fine. You just can't really position that to pick up if you're writing something down on your desk or something like that. So that's why you might want to buy an external webcam. Regardless of if you're using a desktop or a laptop, I do recommend an external microphone. I like this headset because it has a microphone. It also can be a USB or just a normal 3.5 millimeter audio plug, depending on what you're using it for. I always like to use a USB one as much as possible. You just get a better sound with it. You have this external sound card that will make the audio sound a little bit cleaner. The only drawback of having a headset is that some of them are really good in the sense that you can't hear what's going on outside around you. So if you are at home with kids and they need you, you may not be able to hear that with these on. I've missed a couple package deliveries because I was wearing these and couldn't hear the doorbell ring. What you can use instead, and I'm actually using this microphone for this video, is have a lavalier microphone, and this clips onto your shirt. You see a lot of people when they're being interviewed for a TV show or something will have a microphone like this. A couple reasons why I like this is that you do get an extra long extension cable, and it has an adapter that you can use a 3-pin or 4-pin device. And I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty about what is what, but basically, if your device or laptop most likely only has one 3.5 millimeter port, you will want to use this without the adapter. If you're using a desktop or maybe an older laptop that has more than one 3.5 millimeter jack, or like we like to call them a headphone jack, then you'll want to use this adapter and plug it into the microphone port. Like I said, I'm using this right now and I'm on my desktop, so I'm using this adapter for this. Next thing I want to talk about is a mouse. I have found that I am way more productive if I have an external mouse as opposed to using the laptop touchpad. This again, I bought this recently and it has been wonderful to use with my laptop. I made sure it had the scroll wheel and that it had the forward and back buttons. Other than that, you really don't need much more. For my desktop, since I was getting tired with the wireless keyboard I had, I bought this. It was just something that I thought looked nice and I wanted it for my setup. You don't need something with all these colors. I wanted it, but for $30 to get a mouse and keyboard, I thought it was a very good deal. The last and final thing I'll talk about is the need for a second monitor. I cannot tell you how beautiful it is to have two display devices. When I'm meeting with students, I can share one screen while I have the students on the other screen so I can still see them and share what I want to share with them without having any issues of the screen being too small. In my setup, I have a 32-inch monitor and a 24-inch monitor. Now, if you look at Best Buy and you're looking at monitors, okay, here's a 31-inch, 229, 27-inch, 223, 24, 219. Let's see if I go back to the previous page. Okay, we see 24-inch monitors for $160. Let's see the cheapest. The cheapest we can actually go and purchase is a 22-inch for $134, a 24-inch for $136. So these aren't really bad prices for the monitors. However, unless you're gaming, you won't need the capabilities of these monitors. For teaching or for productivity, you don't need all those advanced features. There are a lot of times where I'll have 2 or 3 Word documents open so I can copy and paste between those documents. And it's so nice to be able to spread those documents out over the screen so I'm not having to change windows and all of that. For something like that, or for showing one screen to your students while being able to see them on the other, a TV will work just fine. Let's look at TVs instead. And I'm showing you Best Buy just because most people are familiar with Best Buy. You look at these, a 24-inch TV, $80. A 32-inch TV, $90. 22-inch, $90. 24-inch, $90. So these types of TVs you can buy and use as monitors as long as your computer can display through HDMI. So look for your computer's HDMI port, and that these TVs have HDMI ports, which I'm 100% sure they all do, but it is something to check, especially if you're getting a secondhand TV from someone or if you have an old TV in the basement. Check to see if it has HDMI. My setup at school, even though they gave me a laptop, I have the laptop closed, set it to the side, and then I have an HDMI cable going to an old 32-inch TV that my grandfather gave me, and then I plug in the power cord separately and a mouse and keyboard. So I basically use it like a desktop, but if I ever need to take it home for any reason, like a pandemic, I can just unplug everything and go. So I can't stress the benefits of having a second monitor. Now, you may not need to go something like 32 inches, but 24 is also very usable. You don't really need to worry about 720p or 1080p on a monitor or TV this size. So don't think, oh, those monitors that you showed us, those were 1080p monitors with FreeSync and all that other stuff. Like I said, you don't need those things for productivity applications such as remote teaching or working in Microsoft Word, Google Slides, stuff like that. All right, so I hope that you picked something up from this video, maybe some technology that you already had, a TV, or something you're thinking, no, that's not too much money, I can buy it, or the school will buy it for me, and you can use it for your class. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe.